podcast.
Hello and welcome to PMC English, and a very warm welcome to the next episode of this series. And today again we have Mr. Dileep, who is investment advisor, and Mr. Veda Vyas. You already know him, life coach at Zest. A very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
As we have previously discussed in the previous episodes that what are the tips and bits that a person can follow to do trading and investment spiritually, right, in a right direction. But now the thing is, let's say somebody who invested already and now he's going through a very bad phase. He lost a lot of money. How to handle that situation?
Very good question. Many people invest with a goal in place. Otherwise, it's not a professional advisory or it's not a good investment. For example, let us say in 10 years of time, every month I am investing so much and I have to hit a target of, let us say, 50 lakhs. So, if you hit the 50 lakhs at the 10th year, telling it is for my child's education or marriage, whatever it is, but will it fall in place by 10th year? We do not know. Sometimes if you say marriage, it can be 2 years, 3 years later or earlier, whatever it happens. But what do you do with this 50 lakhs after it is accumulated? Let us say last year February, 2020 February, 50 lakhs got accumulated, and March 2020 35% or 40% market took correction, right? So what happens? His 50 lakhs becomes 35 lakhs. So this is the challenge. So if someone has a goal in it given time period, the ups and downs are very common. A specialist can definitely handle these ups and downs. But if he is not with a advisor or with not a proper advisor, he will worry and he will withdraw his with accepting that loss, which is not correct in terms of long term investment. He can wait. There is always a correction, it will go up. Even US market saw 2 world wars also because it started in 1850 somewhere. Okay, so in this case, after accumulation, what happens? You should go into a product where there is no capital loss. It will only give you small returns, that could be 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever percent it is. It should beat inflation, but the thing is how he is handling. If he is panic and quit. For example, we ourselves told last year for long term investments, do not worry. If there is a possibility, inject more money. But you know how the pandemic created, they feel this is the end of the world, and most of them want the liquid cash with them, and they have accepted losses and took it over. And what happened today? Within 1.5 years, the market went more than the double.
Right.
So they have missed that opportunity. So long term, with a proper plan, you can stay there.
Right.
But if you are in panic, they could do some.
Right. So you mean to say that whenever there's loss, it has to be taken care very carefully. We have to think of long term, and at the same time, it's not a wise idea to withdraw whatever the amount is left, right? We need to allow it some time
Yes.
and wait for the right time to get the right benefits. Am I right? Now coming back to our life coach. Sir, let's say I invested in stocks, and I invested 50 lakhs, for example. So I lost, let's say 30, right? Now I'm depressed. How do I handle that situation? So there's an advice, of course, great advice. He said like we have to, but how to bring that emotion out and to be strong, to wait.
So like I said, you should have a professional advice where you are investing in stocks only the money that you don't need for liquidity. Liquidity is something that cash in hand, that we don't need for daily expenses, that we don't need to pay, that we have enough regular income that we are able to pay for loans, EMIs and everything, and beyond that whatever money is, that goes into investment.
Right.
You don't invest for taking care of your daily needs, especially in long term investment.
Correct.
Trading is a different business again. That has to be treated as a business, that is not an investment.
Right.
If the plan is there, then people won't have that panic as much as they'll feel it has gone down, then it will come up, they'll have time to wait. But if they don't have enough savings to take care of their emergencies, then they are forced to withdraw from the market.
Right.
So that is where they create losses. But the question again is, why are we not having that plan?
Right.
Okay, why are we not being responsible with our money and investments? So the reason again, we have to check inside. the sadness is coming. But if that did not happen, is sadness not there? It's still there because some other reason.
Some other reasons.
When handling sadness and the challenges that come from losses that you get, these are not real losses unless you withdraw. Right? So it's only the market is coming down and it's going up. The point is it's only in your perception. You want to see your assets at some value, and right now market is down, so asset value is low. But if you don't withdraw, it will go up. But if you panic, what then? What is the amount of money you are losing? What is the cost? If you lost 30 lakhs, you will withdraw 20 lakhs. So what is the loss?
A lot.
30 lakhs is
30
lost.
lakhs gone.
I would say spend 2 or 3 lakhs on yourself, invest in yourself, okay, and spend 1 or 2 lakhs of that on a good expert who will guide you in the right way. Expert for financial advisory, and invest in yourself to develop your own personality, to deal with the sadness. Because you don't have a plan because you are overcompensating your finances instead of addressing the real problems in your life. If you address them, you will be responsible in your finances. And the sadness won't happen. So whatever sadness is in our life, we are projecting it onto the financial market and creating big loss.
Okay.
So I would say if you have 50 lakhs invested in the market, spend 1 or 2 lakhs on a good financial advisor and 1 or 2 lakhs on your own personal development, so that you know where you are and where your sadness is coming from and you overcome those challenges. If you do that, then you can take this 50 lakhs into 100 lakh or 1 crore or more also. It's not difficult, but the challenge is knowing oneself and investing in oneself. That is what is missing.
Right, wonderful. So he says that a person has to, invest some amount in getting the right advice, hiring a right advisor if he is not knowledgeable. And at the same time, he suggests that he has to invest something on his spiritual growth, wherein he becomes emotionally strong, mentally strong, or his heart becomes a bit, ready for all these challenges. He needs to look life in a different perspective. So look at the bigger picture. So do you agree with that?
100%, because I always say 20% is the skill within that stock market or how to invest, how to do, but the 80% is with discipline of yourself. If you do not have self-discipline and if you do not know how to handle it, it's not only stock market, even in the daily stress in any other business also. It can be trading, or it can be investment, or it can be a normal job. If you do not know how to come out of the daily stress that you face, or if you do not know how to calm it down, it will be shown against the family in general, right? Especially on the kids, and total things will be spoiled around. So it's always important to invest yourself and take professional advisories, even though the job looks very small. For example, the maid's job is very small, but if you hire the maid, she will do the chores in the house, and then you can have your quality time. If you think that job is very small and I'll do myself, what will happen? The strain comes up.
Right.
So that is how it is. Give the job of professionals to the professionals and accept that we are if you are good enough, to handle everything, that is good.
Yes, right.
But you
Not
should be aware of yes. Definitely not everyone. There are few great people who does it all themselves. That is why we hear people like Rakesh Junjunwala or all these people, right? So but there are few people who can do it themselves. Otherwise, it's always be advised to have advisory at any part of the life. That can be into stock, not only stock investment, the total financial management. If you are able to handle, that's good enough. But otherwise, it's always better to, especially in the terms of investments and self-discipline or self-realization. This is very easy thing to understand. Are you achieving your goals every quarter or half yearly? If you are not able to, there is a serious problem. So get it treated, and there's a big life after that.
Wonderful. So you completely agree with his point.
100%.
Really wonderful. Even I do agree with that. Now coming to the next point, let's say I want to invest. A layman, So I have a little bit of idea, like watching these advertisements, lots of apps, lots of news, and lots of people talking about it. You know, there are some brokers, advisors, fake advisors, real advisors, right? So all these things are there in the market. Now let's say I want to invest. What's the right time to invest, and what should I consider keeping a backup of? As he said, we have to have a financial backup for our regular bills, monthly bills. So it may include EMI, it may be our food bills, it may be our fees of our kids, or it could be the medical expenses. So what should we consider, like how many months backup we should have, and then what amount, I mean, how can we invest, like what is the process?
Even the taxation, there is two things, long term capital gains and short term capital gains. The taxation on short term capital gains is 15%, where you get gains within 1 year, and if it is above 1 year, it is 10% on the capital gains.
Right.
So for investment, when you ask timeline, when is the good time to invest, today is always better than tomorrow for investment.
Right.
Definitely today is better than tomorrow, but you told there are so many people around who advises and all this, and now I wanted to invest. But rather that, when an investor come to me as a prospect, what I do is I understand his needs, his monthly requirements and his earnings, or his capability of investment, how long he can wait, and what is his goal. Depending on all these aspects, we choose products or mixture of products or a combination of, customize the investment pattern. 1 lakh into stock market, maybe not. You can invest in money market also, you can invest in guaranteed product also. You have to invest on risk first. How much are you covered, risk assured for insurance or something. So it should be a holistic approach, and you don't go with the product which is advertised, because it may be suiting you or it may not suit you. On the other day, when we were bisecting a person who is earning 2.5 to 3 lakh per month, we understood he is a middle class person in a city like Hyderabad or something with family. He definitely have all sort of EMIs, and he knows what 2 credit cards will be there, one will be swiped at the end, one will be swiped in the middle. So that is how it is going on. So for investment, right time, it is always today is better than tomorrow. That is one big thing. But for traders, there is always opportunity tomorrow also. Don't think that you have lost it today.
Right.
For investors, it's always today.
Yeah, wonderfully said. Now my next point is how much backup should I have?
So investment, it's not have backup and invest. It should be a discipline. I'll tell you how it should start. Let me ask you one question. When did you earn your first salary? At what age?
It was very long, like 18 years.
18 years. At the age of 18, you have earned. What did you do with first salary? Did you remember?
What did I do? Yeah.
Tough question, right? Generally, will be more emotional. One gift to mom, one gift to father.
Yeah, small things, of course,
gifts.
but there was a part I had put in my account, in my bank account.
You are so intellectual.
Normal savings.
You are so intellectual. That is why you are done. But for me, I got it in cash. Maybe I'm little elder than you, so I get it in cash, and the first 1,000 rupees that I got, I spent 500 rupees for my sister, 250 for my father, 250 for my mother. Of course, 100 rupees I took from someone else to travel in the bus. That emotional we are generally. But did anyone say what should be the pattern of dividing your money? That is where we are lacking, especially with in India. I mean, we don't see a great awareness of products available, and what should we do? If you think you have 30% of at least investment from your first salary, for 1,000 rupees it's 300 only, but if it is 1 lakh, it is 30,000. If it is 10 lakh, it's 3 lakhs. You will get habituated. So in this pattern, you don't have this concept called how much backup you should have. 30% of your monthly income or yearly income, it would go to investments, which would help you after your active income is over. After 60 or 55, you get retired. You don't have active income. If you do not have a concept like money, that pension that you get, it will be difficult. So it's not take how much backup you need for investment. It should be part of your monthly expenses as an expense for investment also. That would help you in future. So now the question would be, if you say 100 rupees is your monthly income, 30 rupees is, or 20 rupees, whatever is you put aside, in this 80 rupees, how will you spend your life?
Right.
This would be a great planning. Otherwise, we call something called conformity. My friend has an iPhone, I should have an iPhone. My friend has a car, I should have a car. So even I earn only 1 lakh, I'll spend 1,50,000 for Pro, 13 Pro. I was watching the ad on the other day. The mobile phone ad is for this delivery boys. I thought, okay, this should be a good phone. Even I wanted to go for a phone, and it is iPhone 13 Pro. iPhone 13 Pro with a delivery boy. So the conformity that comes there, and we spend a lot. But if you have a habit of investing monthly with certain percentage, not just amount, percentage, because the salary gets increased every year.
Right.
So this percentage of amount, if you put it in investments, that's the right thing. Otherwise, this backup, of course, there should be a liquidity. There is a health checkup that we do. At least if you have 1 year of amount to make sure your family or you yourself are going through, that means 1 year you have time to check your career back, or even if one lost their job, what to do. 1 year time is a good time. Right. So minimum that liquidity should be there to make sure in this 1 year I should learn a new skill or get into a new job or start a new business, be an entrepreneur, whatever it is.
Since this COVID was there, like 2020, I believe so, there was lockdown and lots of companies got shut, and a lot of people lost their jobs, right? So it brings along with it sadness, like people go into depression and a lot of other complexities. Now the thing is, as he said, we have to have a 1 year liquid backup. Let's say I lost job, at least if I have some backup cash, I can utilize it. So let's say some ideal person who has done that, let's say 6 months, 10 months, 1 year backup. How can that person invest his time and money to, improve his lifestyle?
Someone has done that. Very rarely people do that.
Yes.
But if someone has that backup, so they are investing, they have some amount, 30% they are investing, and let's say they have, they are spending that backup they are building. Like if you want to build a backup, how do you build it? Say if you are investing 30%, you have to invest 20% into the backup.
Right.
If you invest 20% into the backup, in 5 months you will have 1 month's salary in your backup. Right? In a year, you'll have 2 months' salary. So it will take about 5 to 6 years. About 5 years to build that backup. Right. It requires tremendous amount of discipline. Correct. Then you should not have any expenses where you are pulling that backup off. Otherwise, it will take much longer. Absolutely. No luxuries. No. So to be able to do this, the person needs to have the discipline of spending only 50% of their salary. They have to budget into everything, all the other expenses, including kids and their school fees and everything. If someone is doing that, then they are already in a good path. Right. Then if they want to check what they want to do, then they'll be able to budget anything they want to improve upon themselves. Right. They'll be in a very good place. Because when they started this backup and plan and everything, they had very less salary and they were able to manage in 50% of that salary. After about 5 to 10 years, your salary would have doubled or more at least, right? So now you will be able to invest whatever money you have into yourself in building skills or personality development, or even take an expensive life coach. Right. And everything that you can do. But that comes from the discipline. Right. They won't be thinking about, do I have enough money to do this? Because they have trained themselves to spend less money. Right? So they will always have backup. So they will always have enough money to do whatever they want to.
Right. But there's always scope of improvement, right?
Yes.
Do you agree with me?
So that's what I'm saying. It's very easy for such people to actually invest in themselves. So what they will want to improve, that's up to them. That again, that depends upon their life.
Person to person,
right.
Of course. What kind of?
But if someone is able to do that, then they will be able to afford whatever they want to build.
Lovely, wonderful. On that note, I think we have very less time left now, so we need to conclude this episode. We'll discuss further, more questions, more answers we'll be discussing. So in our coming episodes. Dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed this session and it was informative and something you have learned too. This is Idris signing off along with my guests, Mr. Dileep and Mr. Veda Vyas. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe this episode. Thank you.